කම්මැල්ල. For the people, by the people.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to your lunchtime news here on TV1. You're joining me, Theruni Karunaratna. Before we head on to your stories in detail, let's first take a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Government will not leave room for anything that disrupts the well-being of citizens, says Cabinet spokesperson. A guarantee to reveal all information regarding proposed Broadcasting Authority Bill. Many factions oppose.
ආණ්ඩුවට දැන් අවශ්‍ය කරන්නේ ජනතාව තොරතුරු දැන ගැනීම වාරණය කරන්නද. අපි පැහැදිලිව කියනවා ඔබට කිසිදු අයිතියක් නැහැ.
ICCPR being used against freedom of expression, says Amnesty International. Special Cleanliness Day on the 1st of June to eradicate dengue. Chennai Super Kings claims IPL championship for a 5th time.
In your top story for this afternoon, Cabinet spokesperson Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that the government will not leave room for anything that disrupts the well-being of the innocent citizens in the country. Now, he made this statement at the media briefing held today to inform Cabinet decisions.
There is information about an intelligence report regarding threats to religious coexistence being handed to the President. It was also reported that the President has given special instructions in this regard. Was this discussed at the Cabinet meeting?
විශාල සමාජ මාධ්‍ය භාවිතය තුළින් ආගමික වාර්ගික හැඟීම් පාරවන ඒ වගේම ආවේගජනක ලෙස වෛරය පතුරවන විවිධ කණ්ඩායම් විසින්
We got to know that the Security Council has noted that various parts are carrying out their schemes to spread hatred and disrupt religious coexistence in the country through social media. The intelligence agency has given information they have received in this regard. The President has instructed security forces and officials to pay full attention to this matter, and it is necessary to act as a responsible government in this situation. The lesson that the Easter Sunday attacks taught us is that if there is any sign of such an incident, deep investigations should be conducted and necessary steps should be taken. The government will leave no room for anything bad to happen to the innocent people in the country.
නිරාවුද අවිහිංසක සාමකාමී මිනිස්සුන්ගේ යහපැවැත්මට බාධා වෙන දෙයක් වෙන්න රජයේ ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
The Amnesty International South Asia Regional Office said that the ICCPR is being used in Sri Lanka to restrict freedom of expression.
Amnesty International said it is concerned by the arrest of Natasha Edrisuriya. The Amnesty International South Asia Regional Office said that the right to freedom of expression applies to information and ideas of all kinds, including those that may be deeply offensive. It added that Sri Lankan authorities must ensure that all laws, policies and practices aimed at combating advocacy of hatred are drafted and applied in a strict manner so that they do not lead to unjustified restrictions of freedom of expression of minorities. The Amnesty International South Asia Regional Office said that Section 3(1) of the ICCPR Act, which introduces the ICCPR into domestic legislation, has been used time and time again to restrict freedom of expression. It said that Natasha Edrisuriya must be released and any pending charges against her must be dropped.
Questions were raised regarding the proposed Broadcasting Authority Bill at the media briefing held today.
යෝජනා වෙලා තියෙනවා මේ විකාශන අධිකාරී පනත් කැටුම් පතක්. හැබැයි මේ පිළිබඳව මේ විධිමත් දැනුවත්කමක් තවමත් වෙලා නැහැ.
විකාශන බලපත්‍ර ලබා දීම හා අනිත් කරුණු කාරණා බොහොමයක් කිසි
In a situation where distribution of broadcasting licenses and many other activities are not carried out according to international protocol and appropriately, a committee headed by Dr. Vijaydas Rajapaksa is working on tabling the proposed Broadcasting Authority Bill. I myself am a member of this committee. We are consulting experts and various other parties, and once it is prepared, we will be giving it to all media organizations. There is no necessity to conceal anything or forcefully implement anything. A legal frame that is accepted by everyone is required for every field in order to come out of the situation our country is in right now.
අපිට මේ තියෙන තැනින් රටට ගොඩ එන්න නම්
The People's Tomorrow organization convened a media briefing and expressed its opinion on the proposed Broadcasting Authority Bill.
ආණ්ඩුවට විරුද්ධව
The government has attempted to restrict the media and social media that uses its voice against the government and reveals the shrewd acts of the government. It is clear why the government is mediaphobic, because the government can no longer conceal their activities like before. Many media institutions with a strong backbone are keeping an eagle's eye on every move the government makes. So does the government now want to restrict the public's right to information? We must clearly state that the government has no right to do so. The government has absolutely no right to restrict people from getting information. It is a right of the citizens.
පුරවැසියාගේ අයිතියක්.
මේ රටේ පාලකයෝ කවදත් අදත් අතීතයේත් අනාගතයටත් උත්සාහ කරමින් නිදින්නේ මේ රටේ නීතිය හැම වෙලාවෙම තමන්ගේ පැවැත්ම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වෙන.
This has always been the nature of leaders of the country. Their priority has always been to build the power of their party, to build a fortress. Media being independent and discussing the real issues in the country is a real threat to them. These incompetent politicians are trying to bring the Broadcasting Authority Bill and restrict the right to information of the general public. Today, the rulers who are trying to build a naval base in the country have not been able to make a law in the country that would be implemented if a ship sinks. Instead of giving priority to such issues, the biggest problem the government has is the voice of the people. Their priority is to silence them. I believe this is the biggest mistake that is being made by the rulers of this country.
ඒක තමයි මේ පාලකයෝ කරගත්ත ලොකුම වැරැද්ද.
In conjunction with the World Environment Day, a special Cleanliness Day has been announced on the 1st of June. Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Dr. Anil Singh, has said that this date was announced considering the development of the dengue epidemic situation.
මේ වසරේ තේමාව ප්ලාස්ටික් ව්‍යසනය පරදමු වුණත් අපි දින 7ක් ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කරලා තියෙනවා විවිධ තේමාවන් ඔස්සේ. ජූනි 1 වෙනිදා අපි
This year's theme is Beat Plastic Pollution. We have named 7 dates with various themes. The 1st of June has been named the Environment Cleanliness Day. This day is very important given the dengue epidemic situation in the country. We have requested government institutions to join hands with other government institutions and engage in environment cleaning activities from 8:30 am to 10:30 am. For instance, if you consider the Ministry of Environment, there is a considerable number of associated government institutions functioning. We will be working with them and carrying out cleaning activities. When carrying out these cleaning activities, a considerable amount of dirt will be collected. It is very important to contact the relevant municipal council or regional council or the local government body and establish programs to remove that garbage.
ඉවත් කර ගැනීමේ වැඩපිළිවෙලකුත් ඇති කර ගැනීම ඉතාම වැදගත් වෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health says that the number of dengue patients in the Western Province has reached 50%. Consultant specialist Dr. Nalin Aryaratna, director of the National Dengue Control Unit, said 19,174 dengue cases have been identified in the Western Province so far. Meanwhile, the Dengue Control Unit stated that a significant increase in patients is being observed from Trincomalee, Batiklo and Putlam districts. 38,639 dengue patients have been identified in the country this year so far. The number of patients reported in this month alone is 8,931.
The National Poson Week commences tomorrow. It will go on until the 6th of June.
This year's National Poson Festival will be held in the Tantirimali Sacred Grounds, Meentale and Anuradhapura. The Department of Railways says that during this time period, several extra train journeys to Anuradhapura have been scheduled. Accordingly, in addition to the already existing 10 train journeys, 10 more will be added. The Sri Lanka Transport Board says that during the Poson season, 400 additional buses have been deployed across the Anuradhapura district. Additional journeys from Peta to Anuradhapura have also been scheduled.
Meanwhile, questions were raised at the Cabinet media briefing as to why the state cannot sponsor the Aloka Puja at the Poson zone, which will be located in Mehintale.
පසුගිය වෙසක් වලට ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ කාර්යාලයත් අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාගේ කාර්යාලයත්
During Vesak, the President's office and the Prime Minister's office held Vesak zone centering the Gangarama temple in Colombo. The electricity bill was settled from the budget of the President's office. I am having a Poson zone and I have been told to make the electricity payments ahead of the program. This is the policy that applies to the whole country.
එනිසා මේක තමයි විදුලිය පිළිබඳ රටටම පොදු ප්‍රතිපත්ති.
The Animal Production and Health Department says that a disease which causes lumps on the skin of cows, known as the lumpy skin disease, has spread across the cattle of 35 of the 46 veterinary divisions of the northwestern province. The lumpy skin disease was reported from the Trincomalee, Batiklo and Ampara districts of the eastern province during the latter part of last year. Later on, the disease had spread to a few areas of the northern and north-central provinces as well. It is currently spreading rapidly in the northwestern province. A cow in the Ambahenbaba area in Siambalagas Kotua had died today after 15 days since contracting the disease. Officers of the Horumbaba Veterinary Office visited the scene.
You should contact the government veterinary office if an animal contracts a disease of this sort. That way we could carry out treatments on that animal.
Biological samples of the dead cow have been sent to the Peradeniya University for further experiments. Meanwhile, another cow in the same area had died that night. The Northwestern Province Animal Production and Health Department convened a media briefing today and expressed its opinion on this disease, which is currently spreading rapidly among cattle.
This disease has spread across 35 of the 46 veterinary divisions of the Northwestern Province. We have taken legal steps to prevent the transportation of animals within the Northwestern Province. About 2,000 animals have contracted the disease so far. It has been decided to protect animals who give a large produce using vaccinations. If this disease is contracted once, it won't happen a second time. If vaccinated, it won't get the lumpy skin disease again. If there are any farmers whose cattle have contracted this disease, please keep them within your farm and contact the veterinary officer. The intensity of the disease can be reduced in a clean environment. Meat of these animals should not be consumed, just as the same way the meat of any sick animal is not suitable for consumption.
මේ රෝගේ බෝ වෙන්න තියෙන ඉඩ බොහෝ දුරට අඩුයි. මේ රෝගේ හැදිලා තියෙන සත්තුන්ගේ මස් පරිභෝජනය වැරදි. සුදුසු නැහැ. ඒක සාමාන්‍ය රෝගයකදී පීඩාවට.
The University Grants Commission says that currently there is a shortage of over 2,000 university teachers in the country. The University Grants Commission says that issues have arisen across all universities due to the shortage of university teachers. The Commission says that steps have been taken to manage this situation. Meanwhile, permission has been granted by the University Grants Commission to recruit new university teachers to the university system.
Meanwhile, the Education Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Pubudha Jayagowda, says that higher education in Sri Lanka is suffering due to the shortage of university teachers. According to reports, 1,863 university teachers and senior professors have left the country within a period of 5 to 6 months. The income tax is a direct reason for this. The university system has collapsed. Rajarata University's Maternal and Child Health Research Department had 3 teachers. All 3 of them have left the country. Therefore, the department is now closed. There are 100 vacancies for teachers at the University of Kelaniya. There are 300 vacancies at the University of Peradeniya. Departments like the University of Moratuwa's Electrical Engineering Department, Naval Motion Department and the Oceanography Department are closing down due to the lack of teachers. It has not been possible to establish teaching departments at the Sabaragam University's Medical Faculty, University of Moratuwa's Medical Faculty and the Wayamba University's Medical Faculty. What is going on? Higher education has completely collapsed.
In more local news, Cabinet spokesperson Bandula Gunawardena says that a transportation fee has to be charged in order to continue the Sisusariya school bus service.
If the funds allocated for the Sisusariya bus service are not released on time, the buses cannot operate. We are then left with no choice but to halt operations of the Sisusariya bus service. 70% of the students' of educational expenses are borne by the government, while only 30% are borne by the parents. We propose that transportation fee has to be charged, but there are parents who can't afford that 30% as well. The Sisusariya bus service will be provided free of charge for those students.
රජයෙන් සානාධාරය දෙනවා. 130ක් දෙමව්පියෝ විසින් දරන්න වෙනවා.
News first with the people.
Now on to news overseas. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has visited Brazil for the first time since he was banned by former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro in 2019.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro was received by Brazil's new president, fellow leftist Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, ahead of a summit of Latin America leaders in Brasilia. Lula said, quote, "What's important about Maduro coming here is that it's the beginning of Maduro's return," unquote. Maduro talked of a new era in bilateral relations. Lula said the region should tackle poverty. A number of countries question the legitimacy of Maduro, who is described by opponents as a dictator.
Blasts were heard in Kyiv and several buildings were set ablaze after Russia targeted Ukraine's capital for the third night running.
Officials say falling debris caused the blazes as Ukraine's air defenses targeted incoming projectiles. At least one person is reported to be killed. Ukraine's Air Force says it downed all missiles and drones in the previous two nighttime attacks on Kyiv. Some targets, including an apparent airbase, were hit in other regions. On Monday, the authorities in the western Khmelnytsky region said 5 aircraft had been damaged at a military location. Authorities added that the runway there was now being repaired without providing any further details.
Now, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has said that he will remove his son as aide over inappropriate behavior.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has said that he will remove his son from the position of his executive secretary amid mounting public outrage over a private party held at his official residence last year. Kishida told reporters that his son Shotaro would step down as his executive secretary for political affairs due to, quote, "inappropriate behavior," unquote. The move came after a weekly magazine published photos showing Kishida's son and his relatives at the Prime Minister's official residence attending a year-end party on the 30th of December.
Sri Lankan sprinter Yupunabekon has ruled himself out of the Florence Diamond League meet this Friday, missing the opportunity to compete against the current men's 100 meters Olympic and world champions. Abekon suffered a minor hamstring injury towards the end of the 100 meters finals at the Savona International meet last week and has now been advised by his medical team to rest for the next few weeks. Now, Chennai Super Kings defeated Gujarat Titans by 5 wickets to clinch a record equaling 5th India Premier League title.
The final was originally scheduled on Sunday, but incessant rain forced the organisers to move the game to its reserved day. After Chennai skipper MS Dhoni won the toss and elected to field, Shubman Gill walked out to bat, having smashed 300s in the last 4 innings. Gujarat were put into bat and racked up an imposing 214 for 4 in their 20 overs after number 3 batter Sai Sudarshan capitalised on a strong start and smashed an incendiary 96 off 47 balls that included 6 sixes. Sudarshan then tore into the Chennai attack and hit Matisha Patirana for back-to-back sixes in the final over of the innings to inch closer to 100. Patirana denied him the milestone, but Gujarat could not be denied a 200-plus total.
Six of them, that's it. Sai Sudarshan. Oh, that will be close, that will be close. Up goes the finger. He's on his... Rashid Khan connects, takes the catch, they finish 2-1-4. Massive score in the final, it's the highest ever.
In the run chase that was interrupted after just 3 balls before the rain returned, Chennai went on to survive intense drama before Jadeja sealed victory under the Duckworth-Lewis Stern method, hitting the last ball for 4, having hammered the previous delivery for a 6.
That's really clever from Pop. On there goes. Hit it just down in front of her. And it's taken. Oh, he's connected to his red mid. He might have gone again, yes, and back he right. Gone, first ball, that's Mohit Sharma. Back-to-back wickets. Has the complexion changed again? Already has a hat-trick this season. Top edge will land safely. Where will it land?
Chennai Super Kings won the 5th Indian Premier League title in dramatic fashion as Ravindra Jadeja's last over heroics secured a 5-wicket win over defending champions Gujarat Titans off the last ball. In thrilling scenes in the early hours of the morning in Ahmedabad, Jadeja hit the last 2 balls for 6 and 4 off Mohit Sharma as Chennai chased a revised target of 171 in 15 overs.
trophy aloft. Another chapter in their folklore is written tonight. See it.
You know, if you circumstantially, if you see, this is the best time for me to announce the retirement. You know, but the amount of love and affection that I've been shown wherever I have been this year, you know, I think the easy thing for me to say would be like, thank you very much. But the tough thing for me is to work hard for another 9 months and come back and play at least one more season of IPL. But a lot depends on the body. You know, I have 6-7 months to decide, and I think, you know, it's something. It will be more like a gift from my side. You know, it's not easy for me, but you know, that's a gift. The way they have shown their love and affection, I think that's something that I need to do for them.
And with that, we conclude your lunchtime news here on TV1. Thank you for watching. Take care.